Thanks ever so much for coming today. We know that our customers have loads of questions when they're going through the house buying process. So it's great to have you here, and hopefully we can clear up some of those things for them. Do you want to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, my name's John Brennan. I'm from Yorkshire Building Society, and we're obviously a mortgage lender, so we're familiar with the needs of customers who are looking to borrow for either their first home or second home or whatever.
Hi Gemma, I'm Andy Mannion from RSC New Homes. We are a whole of market mortgage broker specialising in the new build mortgage arena.
I'm Wayne Bennett and I'm from Heylo, and our product is Home Reach, which helps the customer have a product that makes buying a home for themselves more affordable.
Great. So Andy, if you want to start by just talking to us about the process that somebody who's looking to buy a new home might go through to figure out the best way forward for them.
I think the most important thing, Gemma, is to take some advice from a whole of market broker such as ourselves. We'll be able to guide the customer and give them information on all of the various schemes that are available in the marketplace, give them an idea of how much it could potentially cost them, if they'd qualify for those schemes, and if it's going to be affordable to them.
And what kind of information would you need from them to be able to do that?
Generally information that they will know off the top of their heads. So it's things such as employment status, earnings, details of any outgoings that they may have or commitments. It takes us between 20 and 30 minutes to have an initial consultation, and then we can give them the ideas on the schemes, affordability, and a rough idea of the monthly costings involved.
Help to Buy has now become just part of the way to buy a new home. It's become a term that I think most people have heard or are even maybe familiar with now.
Yeah, so Help to Buy is a government-backed equity loan scheme that enables first-time buyers and second-time buyers at the moment to purchase a new build property with the support of a 20% equity loan. The great advantage of the scheme is that the mortgage lenders see that as deposit in addition to the customer's 5% deposit. So you benefit from 75% interest rates. And also it gives people a much greater purchasing power. So what we are finding is that people are buying their dream homes now rather than moving through the ladder.
So talk to us about Home Reach, because this is new, isn't it?
Absolutely. Well, it's fast becoming, in effect, the third way to buy your homes. And before the arrival of Home Reach, you had two options really if you couldn't quite make it, and that was you could either purchase your new home outright or with Help to Buy, or really the only other sort of option open to you, particularly as a first-time buyer, is to rent. And I guess what this product does is it mixes up the two. And so what they do is they take out their mortgage in the normal way on half of the property and pay a small incremental rent on the other half. Then they always have the option to buy the second half. So it's almost having two bites of the cherry in order to own their own home. And that's what Home Reach does really. It works very, very similar to the government Help to Buy scheme. And in fact, the government supports this scheme as well. So it's very helpful for first-time buyers because, as we've said, they have less deposit to pay, less stamp duty to pay. There are over 3,000 homes available in the UK on the scheme, and that's growing rapidly at the moment.
So Andy, will you talk to us then about the process that a customer then goes through? So we've identified whether they're going to use Home Reach or Help to Buy or buy outright, but then what happens? Okay,
so the next part in the process is obviously we go out to see the customers that are interested in purchasing the new build property. We'll talk to them obviously about the lenders, the rates, the products that are available, and obviously make sure that we recommend a product that matches with their requirements. The key thing for us is documentation, so things like bank statements, evidence of income, evidence of deposit, proof of identity.
But you could give them a heads up on what it is that they need to pull together.
Yeah, we would help them with obtaining that documentation and obviously explaining to them up front that we would need that for the mortgage appointment. The next stage in the process is we would help them apply for any of the different products that they're looking for, such as Home Reach or Help to Buy. Then we would arrange for the mortgage application to be submitted to the mortgage lender. We would arrange for a valuation to be carried out on the property that the purchaser's buying, and then obviously obtain the mortgage offer for them for enable them to exchange contracts.
So, from a customer point of view, they choose the home, they then apply for the mortgage, They get a valuation done on the property to make sure it's worth what they're paying.
Correct.
Then they get the mortgage offer.
Yep.
Then what happens?
The next stage is for them to liaise with their conveyancer or solicitor that's dealing with the transaction on their behalf. They will arrange exchange of contracts with the developer, which basically gives commitment that the developer is going to sell the property to the customer and that the customer is also committed to buying that property. What will happen then is the property will be built in the time frame that the developer has made the customer aware of upfront. Mortgage payments start being made, and obviously the customer gets the keys to their dream home.
That doesn't sound that difficult.
The mortgage process is extremely straightforward because we understand the marketplace, we understand the products, we understand the schemes, we help with the applications for the schemes, and we keep them updated and hold their hand throughout the whole process.
I think for first-time buyers, it's just that fear of the unknown that can make it stressful. So it's not knowing what stages something will go through necessarily, and from the lender's side, we try as hard as possible to kind of do a bit of education work at the outset to kind of say, once you pass this stage, you'll move on to here. And so it's just making sure everyone understands what's happening and why. And I think if that's sort of gone through and that sort of understanding's there, people can kind of feel a bit more in control.
So once you've got a mortgage, that's not it forever, is it? Even if you're staying that home, you get an opportunity to look at it again.
Yeah, so the initial fixed rate period will usually last between 2 and 5 years. So in that period, your monthly repayments won't change at all. But when you get to that end of that period, it's time to look again. So you can either fix again if you wish, or like I say, change into a different type of product.
So we can't turn the radio on nowadays without hearing the Brexit word. Is Brexit having an impact at the minute with people applying for mortgages?
We're finding that there's a little bit of cautiousness out there in the marketplace at the moment, the great unknown of what will happen. However, interest rates are lower than they've ever been, and with all the government schemes that are available, especially on new build properties, we're not really seeing a slowdown in interest in new build purchases.
We've seen more people wanting to fix for longer, so they're going to have that certainty of sort of monthly repayment. Generally speaking, we're not anticipating a huge impact on something like house prices. When you look at the sort of fundamentals that feed into house prices, it's availability, and it's also things like employment, and regardless of what happens with Brexit, house prices should remain fairly stable. That's our expectation.
Yeah. If you had any top tips for people that were looking to buy their new home, what would it be?
Speak to a mortgage broker to determine how much they can afford. Keep your bank statements healthy. Have a look at your credit report and make sure there's nothing on there that shouldn't be on there. Make sure that you can evidence your deposit. And also speak to a mortgage broker such as ourselves and get yourself agreed in principle before you actually go to look to buy a property, so that you are in a proceedable position.
From your point of view?
Yes, I would say to have confidence and faith that we have a great new build market in this country, and not to really delay in making that decision, but to get informed as quickly as possible, obviously through forums such as this, but also to go and see your local house builder, where there are a multitude of experts that can help you, both in choosing your new home, to choosing your mortgage and your lender.
I also think that when you're buying a home, it's about an emotional connection to somewhere where you're going to play out your future. You need to figure out what it is you want out of that home. And that takes a bit of time and effort to work out what it is that's really important to you. Is a garden important to me, or is it just something that I'd like to have? Do I need a garage, or is it just something that I've always aspired to have? You've kind of got to do your research and experience that before you can just say, this is exactly what I'm looking for.
I think everyone involved in the process appreciates that emotion and the importance of it in people's lives. So we want to help people achieve that dream and appreciate, all of the hard work that's gone into getting to this stage. People get that connection people have with their homes, particularly when they own them themselves.
Great. Thank you ever so much for your time today. It's been really useful, and I know that our customers will be really grateful for all the advice you've given.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.